your story.
I'm 36 years old. When it was originally brought to my attention that it might be a good idea to write the book, it was a big fat no in my head. I've spent years trying to keep my personal life as private as possible, so this was against everything that I had been taught over the years. But yeah, I felt like I needed to get so much off my chest. If I was going to write a book, I was going to fully go there.
Hayden does just that, and This Is Me, A Reckoning, out now. Laying bare her debilitating postpartum depression, drug and alcohol addiction, coming out as bisexual, and in 2018, her painful decision to sign over custody of then 3-year-old daughter Kaya to her dad, Ukrainian former boxer Vladimir Klitschko, so she could focus on her mental health. You talk so much about growing up in the spotlight, your family career, and then of course, your daughter Kaya and that relationship. And I'd love to start there. I mean, you talk about what this looks like now and saying not being under the same roof with her every day has been one of the most gut-wrenching experiences of your life, and that no one should have to raise their daughter over FaceTime. I'm curious your relationship now, and for people who think that you gave Kaya up by signing over custody.
One of the hardest things to run into, I remember being in the airport and looking to my right, and I passed one of those shops that sells magazines, and on the stand it was a cover with my face on it saying why Hayden Panettiere gave her daughter up. And that broke my heart. The comments that people were making, the assumptions that they were making about me. If you knew me, you would never in a million years think that I would do something like that.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I have the relationship I have with my daughter now. I mean, I travel as much as I can to be with her. I FaceTime with her all the time. She listens to my Nashville music.
No.
And she loves racing stripes, and she actually FaceTimes me the other day. Calls me Brittany. She called me Brittany, and I'm sitting there going, what is she talking about? And I was like, oh my gosh, bring it on. Stop it, you're embarrassing me. She's watching Bring It On now. This is the age we're at.
Wow. Yeah, because she's 11, right? Is she?
Now she's 11. Yeah, that's preteen. We're getting into dangerous territory.
Wow. And how much does she understand about, how she lives and her relationship with you and her dad? What does she understand about that being 11 years old?
She has always been such an incredibly resilient child.
Yeah, and it sounds like you two have such an open dialogue and you're all, like you said, you're always FaceTiming, you're always talking.
I knew my girl would come back. We're so alike, and we're kindred spirits, and even though it was incredibly painful to lose my child, my daily life with my child the way I did, I knew that she would come back to me.
Hayden also writes of a traumatic experience of being just 18 years old when a trusted friend tried to coerce her into participating in sexual acts with a much older, famous British musician on a yacht. You're handed off to a celebrity who was naked in bed while you were literally out to sea. How does your teenage mind even wrap around being in that situation?
I found myself in that bed. I was told to, with him, and the door was closed, and I turned to him and he said, not gonna happen. And I ran, but I was on a boat, so there was nowhere to hide. I ended up all the way down in the galley with the crew, begging them to not tell anybody my location. But what's worse is the denial of it, because that's not a story that somebody just makes up. They just threw you to the wolves, basically.
It was around that time Hayden cut ties with her momager, Leslie Vogel, saying she felt the relationship was tied to money instead of unconditional love.
It was overwhelming that I hadn't made the connection so much sooner in their forms of abuse, and some of the things that I have to work on and keep my eye out for, because no one else is gonna protect me.
Hayden's mom released a blistering statement to ET saying, quote, "The present drama is partially to sell books. There is a personality style which manifests as a need for control, entitlement, and a lack of empathy." What did you make of her statement?
It was so false. It's she slammed that door in my face. I've said nothing but when people ask me about the relationship, if there's any hope for future, I always say that I always leave that door cracked open in case, because who doesn't want a relationship with their mother? And you pray for it and you hope it eventually comes, but she slammed that door pretty hard in my face.
And I'm guessing that you guys have not spoken or talked to her?
No, she has very clearly prioritized herself, which I should not be shocked by. But I can't imagine how she feels about doing what she did and then saying what she said. And I don't know how she lives with that.
Right. And you're sharing so much of yourself in this book. I keep going back to the authenticity. You talk a lot, too, about your sexuality. Why was now the right time to open up about that as well?
You know, there was nothing, I wasn't just going to dip my toe in. And that's just who I am. And that's part of my identity that was never the right time to talk about. It either seemed like people were doing it for the wrong reasons and they weren't actually, bisexual, and it was more of a fad thing, which I never wanted it to come across like that. And frankly, I didn't want anybody to weigh in on that or judge me for it. I was already dealing with enough in the 2000s.
Right. And then, now you're in this place. Like, are you open to dating? Is that something that you're considering? Do you have, certain things you're looking for, any non-negotiables?
Oh, yeah, don't lay your hands on me.
Yeah.
In the wrong way, period, point blank.
Mm-hmm.
But the door, I have a big heart, can't help it, love. So that door is not closed, but I'm not, rushing anything.
We still love, of course, seeing you on our screen. We have to talk about, there are rumors about a Scream spin-off TV series with your character working at the FBI. Is this something the fans have taken and run with that they love, or is this a real thing?
I have not heard that one yet.
Really? Okay.
I mean, that would be incredible.
Is that something, so that's something that you're open to?
Oh yeah, Kirby's been one of my favorite characters to ever play, so.
Before you get in the car, you have to promise not to kill me.
What makes you love her so much?
She was just, she didn't